All right.
All right, everybody. Welcome to I think this is our first September meeting. I'm going to turn it over to Jim Boer, who's going to give us a rundown of some crew communication stuff. So, Jim, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I just got a bunch of plays from last year that involved obviously everybody on the crew, that kind of thing. But just some good plays to look at. And oh shoot, we got a smoke alarm going off in our house. We'll try to get that taken care of a second. And I think we got it. The first one, can everybody see this?
No, it's not up yet. Go ahead and hit the share. You should be able to share. So,
okay. All right, there we go. Better?
Yep, we're all good.
All right. This is a blindside block play. I was at the bottom and I got hung up a little bit on a possible hold, and I didn't get downfield fast enough. And one thing that was when I brought this up to some other people, they said since kicking teams in a tight formation, that deep wings could help out a lot more with stuff that might be happening in the middle of the field. So I'll let this go through. It happens in the middle of the field. I can't remember exactly where I used to have everybody circled, but I'll let it run. And there we go. Those guys circled. And I got hung up on that, like I said, that possible hold. I just took one more peek at it. And then by the time I got my head turned around, it happens at the 45 here, not what's shadowed right now. The next one happens at the minus 45. I don't know why I thought I cleaned this stuff up. I apologize for that. But I'm going to just take that stuff off so it can. All right, I'll get this last one off here. So what happens is basically I saw the end of it. I didn't see how they came together. I just saw the two guys together and didn't have an opinion from anybody else either. So it was really a shame on me for not getting downfield quicker. And that's one lesson to learn, that getting downfield there and getting that second wave, that stuff that's in the middle field that's responsible for line of scrimmage guys to get, because I missed this one. And the other action on the other side of the field was, I was highlighting that because the question was, can deep wings help out on something like this and what they might be looking at? And the comment was, since they're in that kind of tighter formation, that it's easier for everybody to focus a little more on the inside instead of the outside. Anybody have any questions about that one? Comments or anything?
So you're thinking here, Jim, that you're looking for the deeps to potentially be more engaged because the gunner's not coming down as quickly because they're so tight.
Correct.
Might be able to help out a little bit more.
Yep. And my question to you, Nick, being a line of scrimmage guy, how long do you stay with that first action after the snap? If you've got something potential, do you really stay with it too much or until the ball is kicked? When do you let that stuff
I'm
go?
certainly hanging out until the ball is kicked, and then as guys start to go downfield, we'll pick up guys in that second wave. So usually we're dealing with the gunners are gone and maybe the snapper's gone, and then we've got to start finding second level guys for us to watch because usually the deeps are more focused on the first guys down the field, and we've got to help clean up the second guys down until especially until the umpire can spin around and help us out.
Yep.
And then you can trust the referee, and if you're working 8, the center judge to potentially clean up behind all of that.
Does anybody have anything else on this that would like to add? All right, I'll move on to another one. Legal forward pass plays. We have here it is. This is one we had at the end of a game. It was 4th and goal, and we're snapping at the 4, so line of scrimmage has obviously that goal line is the most important thing. But this play here, biggest thing I learned is to just take another second before going to the goal line when you got the wide side of the field. That's would have helped me take that little peek in the backfield, because what happens is we end up having 2 forward passes on display because it's the old pitch from the quarterback to the guy in motion, and that's got to be and that was missed by everybody, so we did not have knowledge of that being a forward pass at first. I'll let it play through. There's our first forward pass, and mechanically we need to get the L and definitely the R involved to see that, to make sure that that thing is forward and we've considered that to be a pass. If I would have just taken that extra peek in the backfield and picked up on that, I would have been able to help out, but I did not even see that happen. So then as things continue on, all of a sudden he throws another one. And I think that it's probably an issue where he thought, well, I'm not going to get to the goal line, I'm just going to throw it. And, in hindsight, after looking at this and talking to a bunch of people about it, regardless, we have another forward pass, and he's near the line of scrimmage, but he's clearly behind the line when he lets that go. And thankfully, our referee came on and said, hey, I got a flag down. I know he threw that from beyond the original line of scrimmage. So we had a flag down and ended up talking. And my opinion was that, hey, if you have that, if you're 100% sure, okay, because I didn't remember where we were snapped. And we ended up dropping a flag and being fourth down, and being lost down for an illegal forward pass to be on line of scrimmage. So we got it right for the wrong reason. And I'm sure there's plenty of times that has happened before. So that first pitch, we've got to consider that to be, we have to know that that is a forward pass. And now we get that. So we end up bringing them up because I rung them up because I had no idea, absolutely no idea that first pitch had happened. And that's why I will always take that extra second to take a peek in the backfield and make sure that doesn't happen to us again.
Jim, you got a lot working against you on that play. If you go back one for me. you got a lot working against you here because we're in goal line, right? So, normally that decision, especially as it's coming to the line judge at the top, or you at the top.
I'm at the top.
All right, so H is the top. But obviously, if that were a regular formation, that's that forward backward pass decision. Generally belongs to the line judge, but now you're in goal line, so the referee's got to take responsibility for that. Which, fortunately for you, it opens up to the referee side. But if you've got, this is a good opportunity if you've got radios to think about a trigger phrase to let everybody know we're in goal line, because we got a lot of responsibilities that shift on these plays. If our line of scrimmage guys are going to give up the line, are going to go to the goal line, that should trigger our referee to be worried about forward backward decisions, and should trigger our umpire to be prepared to have to make a ruling on IDP, which they don't normally do anymore. So, that's a good opportunity to communicate amongst the group, however you want to do that, to make sure that that's something everybody becomes ready for.
Yep, and that was a lot of the talk, that there was a lot of opportunity to help out, and it was just one of those to definitely learn from. Replay question with this: can replay get involved in something like this? Because you are possibly challenging the line of scrimmage for that second one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot about this play that's reviewable. The fact that it's a scoring play means they got to confirm it, which is, they review it anyway. But
yep,
if they can, an illegal forward pass is always reviewable. So they get involved relative to the line of scrimmage. Obviously, it's the second forward pass. So as long as they could confirm the first one, then that's easy for us to either put a flag down or keep a flag down.
Cool.
That's right. Correct, replay people? I know there are some replay people on the call.
Yes, sir.
Great. Thank you.
All right. This is another interesting one. Happen to be the same game, but we have a couple down here at the bottom. We have a couple pitches to deal with. It ends up being a reverse kind of backward pass, and then throws it deep to the tight end going down the sideline. And that one right there is kind of the one in question. It's once again, it's coming at the line of scrimmage at the bottom of the screen, so he's got to take that, because obviously the opposite wing's got no idea what's going on through all those bodies. So line of scrimmage guys got to have an opinion, which I did. I do have him punching it back, and then now he ends up going deep. Is there anything you can offer on that, Nick? Do you just kind of hold your ground, or do you try to get to that spot where he released it?
Well, as an H, you should be flowing, right? You should be flowing downfield a little bit. So that decision for illegal forward pass is really ultimately the line judge's call to make. It doesn't mean you can't have an opinion.
Okay.
So I would be thinking about that if I were dealing with working in your spot there. I try to hold my ground as best I can, but sometimes you got to protect yourself.
Okay. Anybody have anything else for that one? All right. This is one where another shame on me moment. I got involved in something that I should not have. From my angle, I thought that I had it right, but I ended up getting it wrong. I thought I was helping the line judge out because he had so much coming to him. So for me, at being at the top of the screen, I don't see the ball coming out of his hand yet. And as he ends up going further down the field, I see the ball after he's crossed that big line, and I knew that big line was a yard beyond line of scrimmage. And so I have a flag on that, and I felt that I took a little too much control of this situation. Should have let L have this and talk me off of that, but he did not. When we had the conversation, he was not as confident either, and so I didn't let him take me off of that. And obviously that was something that should have happened, because we end up having a face mask foul, and then we end up offsetting these. Anybody have anything to offer on that one? Obviously to stay away from that.
Yeah, I think the toughest thing to do is just to make sure you're working, you're not concerning yourself, and you can have opinions on things, but trust your partner to take care of that stuff. I mean, that's all that stuff related to the line of scrimmage and is really the line judge's purview. So, I'm not saying don't come in and get something that's an obvious miss, but that's, and we all live and die as a crew with the fouls that we all put down in the field. But we gotta make sure that if we're gonna go fish someplace else, we gotta make sure we get the big ones, right? We don't want to be wrong.
Correct. Absolutely right. Here's the good momentum play that involves the goal line, whether to make it a touchback or give them the ball at literally the one. And I think that we did the right thing by making this one a touchback. But you just don't get momentum a whole lot, let alone one that happens right at the sideline with a pylon involved too. So I think these guys handled it correct by coming together and having the discussion and making it what it was. Based on that, has anybody got an opinion whether that should have been momentum ruled at the one or putting them in the?
JB, can you play that again, please?
Yes, sir. Come on.
I think you have to either hit the reload or drag the green arrow back. I think that happens sometimes.
Yeah, I got an iPad or see if this one might be a little closer.
So we got nobody on the goal line, is that correct?
Yeah, he's obviously went by the goal line a little bit.
And the back judge is not on the goal line.
Correct.
So nobody had a beam back down for momentum.
I'm not sure. I didn't look at it that close. I believe that they did not.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I'm thinking that's going to be a touchback. But the point of it is both officials need to be on the goal line. Period.
Yeah, you gotta, I think it's tough sometimes when you're backpedaling or you're backing out to know where the goal line is, but you got to develop a feel for it. And then the better place for F to be here is obviously back at the limit line, right? Because he doesn't want to get run over. I certainly don't want to get run over. So I'd be back at the limit line if I were working there and trying to get set up at the goal line, be in a much better spot, right, Stouty?
Absolutely, yes. You know, as Wagner always says, distance is our friend, and getting back on that limit line, on the goal line, make a much easier call for him.
And I think, the notes that were on the screen there that I know you got rid of, Jim, are a really good reminder for people who are working in games without instant replay. Obviously the momentum rule applies at the 5-yard line, but I certainly don't want to be the guy that puts a momentum spot inside the 2, frankly.
Inside the 1 too.
Yeah,
Right.
inside the 2, inside the 2 to 1, sure, but certainly inside the 1. If we're going to put it inside the 1, probably have a pretty good case that he didn't actually possess the ball until he was over the end zone anyway.
Right.
Yep. Hi, everybody. Yeah, real quick, I'll interject here as a back judge. Situationally, because I just saw it, it's 3rd and 18. I'm going to plant on the goal line at this point. I mean, I'd be 30 yards away. I'd be very comfortable, and I wouldn't move a muscle. And I would probably have my F and S sitting right there with me, off of the pylon. But
Okay.
none of us would move unless that end line was being, unless I can see the ball flight being way over the goal line. I would not move a muscle unless I had to.
How much would you close down on that play, or would you stay in the middle of the field?
No, I definitely would move over on the goal line towards the pylon as I saw the ball flight. But as the mesh point came, as the ball came in to where the DB and the wide receiver were, I would settle down right there and not move, because I want to be stationary when that comes into play. And that would, help me get a better look on whether this would be a touchback or momentum would apply. And I agree with Nick. If it's inside the 1, I'm dropping my beanbag in the end zone. If it's, outside the 1 and I know for sure, I'm going to put my beanbag anywhere outside the 1 that I felt. But I'm going to make sure that everybody in that entire stadium on film knows that beanbag is in the end zone or out of the end zone and outside the 1. But yeah, as a back judge, I would be on that goal line to start this play and just meander towards, the sideline, but staying on the goal line and then stopping when the ball comes in.
Can replay get involved with momentum stuff like this?
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you get involved in this? Is it through the referee's announcement?
Yeah, the ruling on the field. If the ruling on the field is a touchback, and we look at it and see that possession was gained at the 1 or 2, we can change it to momentum.
Would you do it in this situation?
Well, we'd have to have a camera right down there. If we didn't have a camera down, it'd be pretty tough.
Let me tell you, Jim, you'd be surprised how much stuff around the goal line in some of the leagues that are not super highly televised are very difficult for replay to make, right, Roger?
Right.
Yeah. When you've got a high 50 and maybe a couple high 30s or high 25s and maybe a high end zone and a low end zone, that's tough. That's tough to do a whole lot there. It's one thing if you got a pylon cam.
Yeah.
I suspect Davenport hadn't sprung for those yet, though.
No, still not in their budget. Yeah, so we've obviously you come across momentum plays maybe once a season, but I can't recall in the last 5-6 years even having anything with momentum even coming in the conversation. And I think that deep guys handled this right by putting it, not splitting hairs and putting them in the end zone and going to the 20. And a little sidebar to this was coach was out on the field quite a bit, barking just that. And we got him back over to the sideline and, told him that's exactly what they were talking about. So there's an opportunity to work with that sideline too, because they didn't want to get pinned at the 1 either. This has been a little bit tough for me to make the distinguish between personal fouls being live ball or dead. If they happen at the whistle or just before the whistle, do you consider it to be dead ball, or do you make it what it is? And man, that foul occurred just before the whistle and you make it a live ball foul. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought Arthur had said that make it what it is.
I mean, you're always supposed to make it what it is, but if you can't, I mean, I'm inclined to make stuff that, I think a lot of times it depends on where relative to the play it is too, if it's near the whistle, right? Like if it's way away from the play around the time of the whistle, I think you're probably okay to make that a dead ball foul. If it's in the area, then obviously we always want to be right, but want to be a lot more, the closer we get to the football, the more right we need to be.
Oh man, shoot! I thought I had that. Thought that first one was on there. I'm not this one. Huh? I must have that somewhere else. Get off there. This is one about a blindside block. Is this forcible enough? We talk about, I guess, players going to the ground to make that, consider that forcible. But this one, don't really know, because the guy he hits is pretty big. He does hit him pretty hard, but he doesn't go down. Just wonder if anybody would consider this to be a blindside block. We did not have a flag down for this. It was just one that, brought some conversation. And is that enough to make that a foul?
And that's the good old fashioned crackback block, isn't it?
Yeah.
We didn't have extended hands. There's extended hands, then it's fine. If it's anything else, probably want to foul because they don't want that in the game anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think you can worry about if he falls down or not. Is the block forcible? Is it in the view of the guy getting blocked? I mean, that's what you got to look at.
Okay.
And Jim, back to your point about what you just talked about a little bit ago, I had a foul this week, an illegal blindside block after change of possession with an interception. I thought the ball was still alive, so I kept it a live ball foul, only because the kid was running down the sideline. I did not know he stepped out of bounds. I didn't hear a whistle. Maybe there was a whistle, but I think there was a whistle probably, but I didn't hear it in my head. So I told Billy after change of possession, we got to an illegal blindside block, and the administration was the same, except for had it been a dead ball foul, it would have been a UNS on that kid, which was a counter. So that could have been the difference. So you have to know when the foul happened.
Okay.
And I saw the kid still running down the sideline, did not realize he had stepped out of bounds. So lesson learned there for me.
Cool.
But as noted, a foul that had to be gotten because that was in the middle of the field. The player was definitely headhunting, and for a game that we're trying to manage ill will, that could be a problem. So because what happens is then you find players trying to retaliate.
Yep, you sure do. That's exactly
Yeah,
what
we don't
can
want
get out of hand. That's for sure. Not this one. Where did that guy go? Here's the other one I was looking for. This happens over near the sideline, and we went with dead ball on this one. And it happens up at the top of the screen. Those two wonderful fellows right there. So with this, we got this from across the way, and obviously when you're looking at it on film, when that happened live, we definitely felt it was a dead ball. But when you look at it from this thing, he's not out of bounds yet. Just to like what you were just saying, Stout, that he's actually still in bounds, and we really should have made this a live ball foul.
Yeah, I mean, I agree from a timing perspective, but if you're not sure, I would certainly err on the side of dead, because you may end up with an offset that they don't deserve in some cases.
Correct. Yep.
One other thing you might say is that it does look like the player in white lets up, sort of lets his guard down prior to the hit, so that may also lend itself towards finding this to be a dead ball foul.
Yeah, good point. This one, on a change of possession that ends up happening, I believe near the 30 on the way back. That one right there at the 40, it's, we're in transition of flipping responsibilities and, watching players going faster than somebody else, because now everybody wants to be able to try to tee off on somebody. And, making sure that you do get a good look at the whole thing and make sure somebody either didn't get blocked in the back or the legal blindside block. So this is kind of the one what we were questioning a little bit, because he's clearly seeking somebody out, and he's being blocked by somebody else. That one we ended up getting a flag down on that. So that one we got. You know, he's just clearly looking to take somebody out, whoever happens to be closest. Um,
Well covered. Nice job.
thanks.
Good job finding, you got to find the guy out of phase, and that seemed to be the guy. So it's a good pickup by anybody who can see it.
This is one that, we definitely missed. I don't know how, but we did.
Deep wing's got to get that. Deep wing's got to get that all day. That's
Yeah,
not enough to look at.
I agree. Deep wing all day. Even the back judge could help.
Actually, yeah.
Run that back, Jim, to the formation, please.
Yep.
Stop it right there. So who's at the top of the screen? The line judge?
Nope.
Or headlines? Or what quarter we in?
Line judge is at the bottom.
Okay. Back it up a little bit, please. I just want to see the keys on this one.
Okay.
Back judge's got the slot on the left side.
Yeah,
You
so
read-
he's probably not gonna help much on that because he's on the other side of the field.
Well,
But it's the deep wing all day long.
yeah.
Right, but
And
the flow,
what Nick just
the flow of
How's
the
this?
play goes to the right. So if you go inside out, the back judge probably could get eyes over that way. I mean, as a back judge, I'm going to scan, especially because my key has no pressure off the line.
And it's clearly a run.
understood, but to get my eyes over there that quick and be able to see the whole entire play, I'm probably gonna not help on that.
Yeah, you probably see the end of it is what I was going to say.
Right. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be no help on that. That's the deep wing all day long. And like Nick just said, he's a fish swimming upstream.
Yeah.
It's gotta be picked up. That's gotta be antennas up big time because he's going inside. My opinion.
What about the miss? It looks like 72 with the cup block on the linebacker. Is that initial charge?
All right.
Right above that circle. Boom.
Yeah. So this year that's a foul. Last year, obviously.
Yeah, this year, yeah.
Yeah, that's a foul.
Yep. This year, definitely a foul. That's a good point. That's a good reference to have on that.
I will say, I recognize we're only 2 weeks into the season, but I think the offensive linemen have really know what they're allowed to do. Generally speaking, I think all the problems we're having with low blocks are with the backs.
Backs and
Hey,
receivers.
hey.
For sure.
Hey Nick, I'm gonna point something out that you may want to pull up on another session. But if you look at Hampton, this was on another call that I had.
Mhm.
If any of you guys feel like jumping on a video looking at Hampton University, look at their splits. They are so wide. The question is, like, is it still the tackle box or not the tackle box? I don't have video to show, but they're like 7 to 10 yards off the center, the guard and the tackle. They are definitely bending the rules. It's incredible, and so it's been brought up to everybody's attention. There's been no ruling on it quite yet, but I just tell you should take a look. It's insanity how big their splits are. And then the tackle, and then the tight end or the back is literally lined up right off of the tackle's outside foot, so he's in technically.
Well, remember that the tackle box still has like maximum distance, right? like there's still a maximum distance you can be and be in the tackle box. Just because you're called the tackle and you're the second lineman from the snapper doesn't mean you're automatically in the tackle box.
No, no question, no question. According to the commissioner of it's the CIP, right? So according to the commissioner, it's hard for the umpire. What he's saying is hard for the umpire in the backfield and the referee to be able to, no, I mean, to count yardage outside because their concentration is basically where is the tackle box now, how far out they are. It's really just we talked about it on our chapter meeting, and they said let it go, it's not a foul, but there were two cut blocks they on initial line charge that they were saying in the tackle box, let it go. Just thought I'd mention it. It's kind of interesting.
Well, yeah, it is because it's the same aspect of when you get, if you can cram three guys into the side of the snapper, more than likely it's just going to be field goals and extra point tries. But, that's the other question too. Can that outside guy end up going low? And that's Wagner did say at our clinic. He said that's about the only opportunity you have because everybody's legs are interlocked. So he's definitely inside the tackle box.
Well, remember, we're talking about two different things, right? So the first thing is that the maximum distance from the center that the tackle box can extend is 5 yards, right?
Yep.
But it can be less than that because only the second lineman from center can be in the tackle box. We don't put tight ends in the tackle box. So, it's tough. I could see you in your position, not with us not knowing with how wide the splits are. That's something just to be mindful of. Obviously, if you're, the old fallback is whatever if the boss says that's legal, then I guess it's going to be legal today. So, that's just a thing to be mindful of too.
Anybody got anything else? Move on to another blind side block. This one, we did not follow this. And the question why I put it on here is because if somebody did, would anybody have a better look to take somebody off this? The end zone view is a little bit better, so I'll get to that one next. Because there you can see he does lead with his hands. Is that enough? Is that enough for a blind side? If somebody had a flag down on that, would there be a conversation about possibly picking that up? Or is it a foul that we missed?
I go ahead and play that again. I think these are tough because they started, the rules kind of morphed a little bit from what my initial understanding of it was to basically, if you come out with extended hands, it doesn't matter how hard you hit the guy.
Right.
So go ahead. Like if he's going to go out and make that contact with the arms out, I would say that we're good. And
Yep,
if I was going to come out, if I saw somebody throw on that and I came out and said, hey, you had extended hands on that block, based on everything I know about the rule, I would expect to get support for pulling a guy off the flag. Would you other guys agree?
I'd agree.
Yes, sir.
Here's a good one. Blind side block, personal foul, UNS. Couple things to think about here. We have a fair catch on a kickoff, and then we have a kid that just comes and cleans somebody up. Happens kind of in the middle of the field, I believe, around the 35 to 40. So a lot of things happen with a fair catch. Obviously, people want to make sure that the ball is caught. Well, first of all, that we see the signal, ball's caught, and then watching for people going faster than somebody else. And this guy just wants to get involved in a bad way. The old adage of Phil Barnes, I saw what you did and I didn't like it. The comment about making it a dead ball because it is a fair catch has been completed, but it's one of those situations where you can't ball watch and you got to watch somebody going faster than somebody else. We looked at this dude already. That's about it. That's it on those. Whoops. On some blindside block plays. Anybody, anything to add on any of those? Block below the waist stuff. Don't really want to look at those because the rules changed. There was a couple targeting. We don't get a whole lot of targeting fouls, at all at the D2 level. And I think I've been involved in one over the last 7-8 years that we've had them. Happens at the sideline, guy coming in late. This guy right here, does he drop? Does he dip? That's definitely forcible. Or is that just a good old-fashioned tough football play?
So he's not defenseless, so we only have 9-1-3, right?
Correct.
Right.
It looks like he's
So-
leading with the shoulder.
Yeah, it looks like his shoulder, and it doesn't look like 9-1-3 to me. It looks like it's just a good hit.
Yeah, one of the things that I think that we've all kind of come to the conclusion on lately is that the redefinition of the crown has really shrunk the crown, right?
Sure has.
So they've almost got to hit him straight, head down, dead top of head for us to get targeting. So if this guy even gets like slightly side of helmet or shoulder, we shouldn't have targeting here.
And we did not. Does anybody want to add anything else to that one? Next one. Another guy who was away from the play coming to add a little extra to it. Definitely have a dip of a head. This is definitely a better angle also. And shoot. Go back to that. I've looked at these plays so many times, and now you look at them a little bit later, and you kind of going through the new rules and other film and stuff like that. Things just don't look as bad as what they did when we found these a year ago. But it's that secondary defender coming in. Now that the runner does get tied up, do we do we consider him defenseless anymore when his progress is stopped?
If he's still upright, if, the long and short of it is if he's still moving, then he's not considered defenseless.
Yeah.
You have him
Gotta be.
stopped, his progress stopped. That's different, but his progress wasn't stopped. He was falling forward.
Correct. Agreed. Again, we just have 913 on this one.
Yep.
He's got to be completely on the ground.
Right.
And Roger, nothing sticks out to you enough that you would even stop the game here, right?
I can't. I'd have to have a better angle look at that. I can't really tell about what he did.
That's fair. But nothing you've seen looks like
No.
jumps out at you as a miss.
No.
Another one. This is kind of a little bit out of the screen. Old goalpost is in the way a little bit, but I think that this one we probably should have had. Remember it sounding awful on the field. Kind of another indicator for myself, but just to get the conversation going, but anybody have any thoughts?
That picture right there looks like it's nothing. It's just a tackle.
I agree with that.
Right where you're stopped is there's nothing wrong with that.
But are you seeing the recoil?
Yeah, I see that I can see that he hits him high. If you back up a couple of frames there, just go up to right to the left of the. Like the button just to the left of that. Yeah, that guy. Back that up a few minutes.
Yep.
Few clips there. All right. Go slow forward if you don't mind.
So right there, we got a dip.
Yeah, but eyes are still up. I
Okay.
agree with you. He does dip, but his eyes are still up. And with the new crown rule, I don't believe that's a foul.
But we'd say that's
I
a
think he
defensive.
leads with-
Agree that's a defensive player, though, right, Paul?
Absolutely, yeah. He's just catching the ball. Correct. Yes, he is defenseless. I do not have targeting on this play. Roger, what are you thinking?
I don't believe that contacts the head and neck area. It's just hard to tell.
Yeah, and that's why I say with our film at the in the GLIAC, there's just so many things to consider, and trying to find that shot to make it stand or confirm it is pretty tough to do in our league.
Yeah.
It don't jump out at you.
No, it doesn't.
Right. That is really it.
Okay. Well, Jim, I appreciate that. Thank you for taking us, sharing some plays with us, and I think we had some good conversation.
You're welcome.
A couple things. Seth did send the video. I'm gonna share here. Everybody can see my screen? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That doesn't strike me, Seth, as like a ridiculous formation.
So Yeah, I agree on the right side. Look at the left side, and it actually was way worse as the game went on. It gets worse. Like you could almost fit an entire another like lineman in between the two. I have a better view. I'm waiting for actually the white hat in this game to send it to me. So when he sends it to me, I'll get it over to you. You'll see it. It's insanity.
Well, I mean, what
It's still
we've got
yardage.
here does not look too bad. I mean, I see what you're talking about in the A gap anyway, but I mean, 77 is right now probably about as far out as you could get. But remember, if any part of him's in the tackle box, he's in the tackle box. So he can be a little wider. So, all right. Okay. In any event, thanks everybody for showing up this evening. Last thing I'll say, we're back in 2 weeks. Turn my camera back on here. We're back in 2 weeks. Dave Siegel is going to lead some play review of the first month of the season. That's not the teachable moment stuff. We're going to do that on the 10th. So as you get plays from your seasons that you don't mind walking through with everybody, I sent a link to a Google Sheet in the email that went out this morning. Just click the link, add your play. If you're a COC person, I will find the play for you if you tell me where it is. But please give me more information than it was in the Western Michigan Ball State game. Like, I need to know what week it was and what play number it is. That's a lot more helpful. I really don't want to have to scour Exos for everything. That will be, that teachable moments will be on the 10th. Billy Williams will do a unique on-field situations presentation on the 24th. I hope to have a meeting on November 7th. And then that's about it for us for the year. I hope you're all still, I appreciate everybody's involvement in these meetings. I hope you're enjoying the content in the emails. And I hope you're all having a great season. And I wish you all the best as we move forward. So thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of your week and good luck this week.
Hey, I have one thing to say, Nick.
Go for it, Stouty.
It's been 17 years. The Browns are 1-0.
Good said.
You just had to do that before I hit the stop recording button.
I did, yeah.
Okay, great.